Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're doing something, well, a little different.
A little bit, yeah.
Instead of tackling, a 50-page policy paper or some massive database, we are dedicating this entire deep dive to just one single and surprisingly dense piece of source material.
A personal gratitude post.
Exactly. And this is what makes it such a fascinating exercise, isn't it?
It really is. We're analyzing a moment of profound personal reflection, a really fleeting moment of joy that is intentionally mapped onto this highly specific, almost branded organizational structure.
Right. So our mission today is to unpack this snapshot of happiness. It's from the S.N.E.A.C EntraStructure pioneer and SNEACful Gifts founder.
Mouthful.
It is. And we want to understand how they take something so internal and spontaneous like laughter and frame it within this major professional context. They're using terms like S.N.E.A.C EntraStructure and even tagging it with hashtag future of work.
And that creates this immediate compelling tension. You have this raw, vulnerable insight. The whole hashtag finding joy in small moments thing. And it's juxtaposed immediately with the language of leadership and corporate structure.
So the source itself is suggesting that the deeply personal is explicitly linked to, the operational success of the organization.
That's what seems to be arguing, yeah.
Okay, so let's establish the rigor behind this moment.
Yep.
Because this isn't just a random post.
Not at all.
The source is very specific. This is post #5 in a series called The 13 Days of SNEACful Gifts, Simple Gratitude, and it's dated 11.180.25 Tuesday.
And that meticulous documentation is our first huge clue.
How so?
Well, when a leader, especially a founder and a pioneer, documents their emotional state with that level of specificity, giving it a number, a series title, a date, it tells you that gratitude isn't just a pleasant feeling for them. It's being treated as an output, almost, from a systematic process. It's like an entry in a personal performance ledger.
So it's turning a feeling into a function.
Precisely. And the names themselves, S.N.E.A.C EntraStructure and SNEACful Gifts, even though we don't know exactly what they mean, their mere presence tells you this positive internal state is a core structural component.
The very foundation of their enterprise, maybe.
It has to be. I mean, why else would you brand your gratitude?
That's a good point.
If you look at IntraStructure, it implies some kind of inner alignment or foundation, right?
Right. Intra for internal.
So this leader is basically declaring publicly that for the structure to function, the people inside it have to be actively cultivating a hashtag gratitude practice. Their personal emotional health becomes a proxy for the organization's stability.
So personal emotion it's an organizational metric. Let's zoom in on what actually triggered this. The author hears their own laugh.
Such a tiny thing.
A tiny, common thing, but it generates this entire framework.
And that tiny occurrence is the gateway to the core intellectual insight of the whole text.
Which is?
They don't cherish that they laughed. They cherish the reason they were capable of it.
Ah, okay. That's the fascinating distinction they draw. The gratitude is not for the audible, the sound itself, but because of the possible.
The possible. And this is where we really need to slow down and unpack what that even means. If the audible is the immediate sensory reality of that moment.
The physical sound of the laugh.
Right. Then the gratitude is completely decoupled from that. It's directed at something intangible, the potential.
But hold on, if they're happy, why isn't the sound of the laugh enough? Isn't this just, self-help jargon for I'm happy?
Why this whole philosophical framing?
Because the framing acknowledges the context of struggle. The source mentions it.
Right.
They're grateful for the internal state that allowed the laugh to emerge, despite whatever circumstances are going on. And this is critical for resilience. The line is, the sheer fact that no matter what is going on, a laugh escapes is everything.
No matter what is going on, that implies an active resistance.
Like they're fighting against something internal or external that could stifle that joy. So by focusing on the possible, they're grateful that their inner system hasn't broken down under pressure.
Exactly. They aren't celebrating the win. They're celebrating that the capacity to even play the game still exists. The possible refers to psychological resources, internal reserves, the engine of resilience.
And the audible laugh is just the proof.
It's the unmistakable, spontaneous proof that those reserves are still functional, that they're still there, capable of breaking through all the noise.
That completely reframes what they're thankful for. It's not, thank you for this funny joke. It's, thank you, my own inner structure, for refusing to be shut down.
It's a moment of profound internal validation.
And in a professional context, that shift from audible, the immediate reality, to possible, potential, and resilience, That's a powerful leadership insight.
It is. It suggests that leaders, employees, everyone should be monitoring their capacity for rebound and joy, viewing it as a prerequisite for productivity, not just a side effect of it.
So the feeling of resilience, the capacity to rebound, that's what truly matters. The laugh is just the
It's
evidence.
the evidence, yeah. It reframes this personal emotional experience into a testament to psychological consistency. The laugh proves the system is operational.
Speaking of the laugh itself, the language they use is really beautiful. They call it a spontaneous giddy bubble.
It's a great phrase.
It suggests something completely accidental, unplanned, just a pure eruption of joy.
It does. It sounds wonderfully unplanned.
Hmm.
And yet, right after describing that spontaneity, the author gives us a very deliberate, conscious reason for it.
Oh, right. They say the laugh is, at the same time, the result of choosing joy.
Mm-hmm.
And now we hit the apparent paradox. How can a laugh be a spontaneous giddy bubble and also the result of choosing joy? Doesn't deliberate choice kind of eliminate the authenticity of a spontaneous moment?
That's the tension that makes this text so rich. The source material is offering a synthesis of the two.
Okay, walk me through that.
It suggests that the spontaneous expression, the audible giddy bubble, is only possible because of an underlying conscious commitment, a sustained daily choice to seek out joy.
Okay, so choosing joy isn't a switch you flip in the morning.
No.
It's more like a continuous investment. It's the fertilizer that allows the spontaneous flower to just bloom without effort. The choice primes the internal environment.
That's a great way to put it. It's like muscle memory for happiness. When you're constantly choosing positive framing, your subconscious is already aligned. So when a trigger comes along, the expression is effortless
The laugh escapes, as the text says.
because the choice has already been made and sustained long before that moment. The deliberate effort leads to the effortless reward.
And what does this spontaneous yet chosen eruption feel like on the inside? The author notes an emotion beyond just happiness. They mention relief.
Yes.
The text says it brings a sort of soft relief, like, hey, I'm still here.
Soft relief, that is such a precise psychological description of just letting go.
It is.
It moves beyond momentary pleasure, and it touches on self-awareness, self-validation, which ties directly into the hashtag mindfulness journey tag. The laugh becomes an internal anchor, a psychological check-in that validates their continued presence despite everything else.
It's a confirmation that the core self is still operational, resilient. When they say, I'm still here, it doesn't sound like a statement of location.
No.
It sounds more like a necessary declaration of psychological survival. It's the sigh of the inner system saying, okay, we made it through this stress cycle.
And that relief is important for the organization, too. If the founder is consistently checking in and confirming they are still here, psychologically present and engaged, that sense of continuation is projected outward into their leadership.
Okay, let's connect this back, this deeply personal moment of psychological relief. Let's connect it back to the high-level professional frameworks. We have to talk about the organizational tags, especially hashtag future of work.
This is the bridge. This is where the author explicitly links their personal, validated inner state, that soft relief, the capacity for joy, to the overall organizational philosophy. We see it through the hashtags.
Right, we've got the instructional ones. Hashtag daily gratitude, hashtag positive mindset, hashtag how to practice gratitude, hashtag finding joy in small moments. These really reiterate that the founder sees these as teachable, structural concepts. It's like they're sharing a lesson plan, not just a feeling.
But the really critical analysis, I think, comes from including hashtag leadership, hashtag S.N.E.A.C EntraStructure, and that pivotal tag, hashtag future of work.
Right.
So we have to ask, what is this source material implying about the future of work? If the founder is publicly prioritizing and documenting their personal capacity for choosing joy.
Well, it seems to imply a radical redefinition of what's professionally necessary.
Go on.
If the pioneer of this intrastructure is making this public, they're basically arguing that emotional resilience and self-awareness are no longer optional soft skills.
Or just some outsourced wellness perk.
Exactly. They are fundamental structural necessities for the modern professional world.
It completely shifts the focus from external rewards and traditional productivity metrics to internal capacity.
What do you mean by that?
Well, traditional work is all about output, right? What you produce. This framework suggests the input capacity, your psychological stability, your ability to regenerate joy is the new key metric. You can't sustain high output if the internal machinery isn't maintained.
So the future of work isn't just about AI or new tech. It's about the conscious, measured management of the self.
I think so. The leader's personal emotional state, validated by that spontaneous giddy bubble, becomes a measure of the whole system's viability.
Wow.
It's a profound statement that emotional data like just acknowledging the relief from a laugh is considered vital enough to be included in a 13-day gratitude campaign tied explicitly to the brand.
The source is basically saying the strength of our structure depends on the strength and presence of the individual's mind.
That's it.
That really reframes the whole purpose of a gratitude practice. It's not just a feel-good activity for you as an individual.
No, it's operational maintenance for the entire system. That relief isn't just a personal comfort. It's quantifiable proof that the resilience engine is running effectively.
And by tagging it #leadership, they're implying that this systematic approach to joy and relief is a core element of leading effectively. You have to first secure your own psychological ground. Validate that you're still here.
Before you can guide anyone else through the chaos.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, this deep dive, we took a simple, short reflection, just a few sentences about a laugh, and we've uncovered this meticulously mapped philosophy of resilience and choice and mindfulness.
And organizational structure.
And organizational structure. It just shows you how a tiny personal moment can be intentionally transformed into this grand declaration of professional philosophy.
And that's the true beauty of looking closely at sources that combine the personal and the brand. You can draw these profound structural insights from the most minimal sources, especially when they frame emotion, joy, and relief, in this case as a metric of success and psychological presence.
The personal resilience of the leader becomes integrated into the public-facing identity of the entire organization. It definitely makes you pause and consider the systems at play the next time you hear yourself genuinely laughing. So we'll leave you with this provocative thought, based only on the text provided, which centers on that idea of the audible versus the possible.
Okay.
If the audible is the immediate, fleeting reality and the possible is the internal potential for resilience and future action, how often are you truly grateful for the possible in your own life?